the video player screen right down there.
There you go. Okay, well, as you know, if you've been watching us for a while, or if you read Quality Digest quite a bit, we have discussed and will continue to discuss the importance of having a single source or single repository of data. Getting rid of the information silos, quotes, information silos. Having a single system handle the data instead of duplicating data in multiple systems allows shared data to reside in one system and still be consumed by others that may need it. And this is really a part of what an enterprise quality management system is all about. Well, today's guest is KR Karu from Sparta Systems, and he is going to describe what this might look like on a practical level. So what you might be doing now versus the way things could work at your company and the value it could bring to you. Good morning, KR.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from.
There you go. So let's get right into this. In the past, we've kind of talked, I don't know, just kind of in general, you know, what does this software look like, so on and so forth. But we haven't really gotten into a lot of detail of what does this look like for the end user. I mean, in the article that you wrote this week for us, you give an example of bottles breaking on a manufacturing floor. So describe, if you don't mind, in a little bit more detail, what might have happened pre-enterprise quality management software and what could happen with EQMS.
Sure. A couple of stages. If you take that example of bottles breaking, a piece of equipment that might be filling liquids into bottles might be chipping the bottles. So in the past, they might have fixed it, run it again, had this problem recur a week later, fix it, do those type of things. With a quality management system, not even enterprise-wide, maybe they start recording that and they find that you know, we're filling 200 bottles a minute, and when we slow it down to 190, it doesn't chip it anymore. So now with an enterprise quality management system, when they determine the root cause and the repair, they can, if a company has multiple sites manufacturing things, they can go into their other systems, see exactly where they're using the same piece of equipment, and apply the fix before it happens elsewhere. So in this way, they're reducing quality events that may be happening in the future, other places. Find it one place, fix it every place.
And by fix it every place, are you saying because multiple sites might have access to the same, I don't know, corrective action kind of process? I mean, is that what we're saying here, where this data would be available to everybody to see how a particular problem was fixed?
Exactly, and a lot of the leading companies are really proactive. So they've integrated their enterprise resource planning systems, which might have an inventory of systems, inventory of raw materials used. So when a problem is found at one site and corrected, the corporate quality folks go in or drive preventive actions at locations where the same problem may occur. So again, find it one place, fix it every place.
Now, contrast this, I mean, we're talking a little bit about CAPA here, corrective action and preventive action. How might that work in, let's say, a kind of a pencil and paper world, or let's say at least a company where information is kind of siloed? Contrast what you just described to maybe what a lot of people are doing right now.
Sure. What actually in most companies at the plant level, they're independent, even though they're making the same product, and so they solve problems independently. They do not communicate those issues, or if they do, it's through spreadsheets and reports that might come out months and months and months later. Now, we're actually taking it a few steps further because, you know, there are those leading companies that have put in enterprise systems that everyone has visibility to issues. So if someone has a problem, same problem, the fill machine is breaking vials, they can query the global system and see if someone else has had the problem and how they solved it. but one of the realities of what goes on in companies is that even with these systems in place, how do they currently do it? This is happening on a production floor. Somebody takes notes, and maybe sometime later, someone sits down at a laptop and actually enters it into a system. So there can be a delay or a lag of minutes, hours, sometimes even days of an event being put into the system by the people who are witnessing it, and have quality begin their investigation to determine what to do about it. Is this a systemic problem or something like that? So what we want to talk about is adding everyday technologies. All of us are walking around with smartphones in our pockets. I can't walk through an airport without someone running me down because they're checking their emails while they're rushing between planes. Well, think about the people on the production line. As these bottles are being broken or being cracked, they can pull out their phone, they can log into the system with a few quick keystrokes. Here's what we were making, here's the equipment that we were using, here's who was involved in it, and even use the camera on it to take a picture of it and send it to quality immediately, so the investigation can start as the issue is happening, not a day or a week later. That goes back to Deming, who long ago said you have to build quality into the process, and if you solve a problem while you're making something, it usually adds a factor of 1x. If you find the problem after you complete manufacturing, it costs you 10 times as much. If you find it after it gets out in the market, it's 100 times or more to fix it. So exactly. The idea is to start the quality investigations as the events are happening, not look at them after the fact.
KR, now this really gets to the heart of what you're talking about here, because you're talking about all that data and connecting the dots with all that data that you're collecting, and then having that analytics and what you can do with the analytics. So give us an example, give us a hypothetical of how you collect that data and what you do with the data once it's collected. Great.
Again, people have silos of systems around quality, and let's take this same example that vials or bottles were being broken during the manufacturing, and it was because they were going through the machine too fast, or whatever the root cause is. Now you have other systems in place, including complaint systems, and I'll take something from an article I read yesterday. A pharmaceutical company had a third recall of products, and they're holding over $6 million worth of their inventory because there are glass particulates in the solution. Now, doesn't take too much to connect those dots that maybe those broken pieces were from when they were going through the machine, and it was breaking the glass and it was making its way in there. So now you have complaints, you have batches, you have problems going on during manufacturing. Maybe even your auditors discovered of an audit of the equipment manufacturer that they had new specifications for avoiding breakage. So all of these things are in silos, and unless you're able to look across the board and find those things, this is a way of finding issues and doing things. And as you collect quality data, analytics is an amazing thing. There are algorithms out there that allow you to do now predictive analytics. So if you are analyzing your quality data, you can actually start to predict where your problems are going to be and correct them before they actually happen. And that's the goal where everyone wants to get that. You're gonna know where those problems are going to occur and be able to keep an eye on those things and catch them early, not when they get out into the marketplace.
Exactly, and we're going to actually, KR, you and me will actually be presenting a Quality Digest webinar on this topic, kind of the practicalities of quality management systems. on Tuesday, August 12th at 2 p.m. We see the slide up there, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. There is a link actually at the bottom of the story that you can use to, underneath the player page, underneath the story that you can use to register for the event. So if you're interested in the technology of quality, just go ahead and underneath our player page, there's a link, click that, and that will let you register for this webinar. So KR, thanks for joining us this morning.
Mike, Dirk, always a pleasure.
Okay, thanks. See you later, man.
Thanks, KR.
Okay, bye.